Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. My name is Erin Howard. I'm a junior and I'm super happy to be here.
Hello, my name is Lori Metcalf. I'm the Chief Outreach and Enrollment Officer at SAS, and I'm excited to be with these two students doing this interview.
And I'm Mia Pickett, and I'm a senior, and I'm really excited to be here. So welcome. I'm about to ask you a few questions. So first off, just tell us a little about your background and what inspired you to work in admissions.
Yeah, well, prior to coming to SAS, I worked in nonprofit and have always wanted to be in a position of helping people. I specifically worked at a nonprofit that helped disadvantaged families of color, which was a great feeling, and you leave work every day feeling like you're giving back. Coming to SAS, my position evolved here and over time, but have landed in admissions and financial aid, which is a great match for my interests and skill set. And I've really enjoyed doing the work of creating avenues for families to be here at SAS.
Nice. So what is the importance of the admissions process for students of color and particularly Black students?
I think the importance, particularly for students of color, is one, understanding the independent school environment, and the admission process helps to kind of break down barriers, break down misconceptions about what an independent school is like, and kind of cures some of the myths around financial aid, around accessibility, around just what it's like to be in an independent school as a student of color.
And during the pandemic, how has the outreach for people of color changed because of these things that we've been through, either with disproportionality or even just reaching people outside of state? How has that been?
Definitely, the pandemic has allowed us to do a lot more virtually, so I think it's helped make connections with families outside of state. We've always had a great interest from families moving and relocating here to Seattle. But unfortunately, we did take a lot of time to think about the disproportionality of online learning, accessibility during the pandemic. So we had lots of conversations around, are these students able to connect via Zoom? Do they have the resources? Do they have the devices to do this? And so we really looked at our admission process to look at what can we remove from this equation so that it does make the playing field a little more equitable among families. So we decided not to accept testing or require testing because a lot of families, those were done online, virtually. Students didn't have devices. Their home situation might not have been great for having a 3-hour test on Zoom. So we eliminated that. And then we just tried to reach out to our partners and community members and let them know we're here. We have, what can we do? Do you need to come into the school? We can set you up on a Zoom and a device here. So we just tried to do what we could to make it, a little bit easier for families.
That's good to hear.
Okay. Oh my God. So, continuing off of that, and all the things that you've done, even remotely and in the past when we were in person. So, what hopes do you have for the admissions team, and maybe for yourself, in connecting with more Black families and students of color?
My hope for the admission team is that we continue to carry the values that we have put in place for all families, and particularly students of color. I think we as people of color need a little more support. We need someone to go a little bit above and beyond to make us feel welcome and know that we're welcome into a community. So I hope that continues and that we never take that for granted, and that we always continue to evaluate our process and our visit days and our interviews, and so that it feels equitable to everyone.
And how can we as a BSU support other Black families and families of color going through the enrollment process or just the admissions process?
Well, I think a lot of students have already. So we have done things like the pandemic has caused us to move a lot to Zoom. And so we've had Zoom sessions for families of color where many students in the school have come and parents, and been on those Zoom calls with us and talking to families and giving them that direct perspective of what it feels like to be a student, what it feels like to be a parent. And I think I would love to get more involved with BSU and other groups in the school to just, help make that part of, not a one-off, not because of a pandemic, but just part of the process moving forward.
Yeah.
Awesome. And just one last question. How do you celebrate your Blackness, either here on campus, outside of campus, and yeah?
I think I like to have a good time with my fellow colleagues of color. We joke, we play around, we talk mess to each other, and we're there to support each other. I like to acknowledge when I see students walking by. You've probably walked by me in the past, and I speak to you, and I say hi if we catch eyes. But just as far as as a Black woman, I celebrate through music. I celebrate through clothing. How I dress, and just friendship and food, and so all of the things. But here on campus, I celebrate it by seeing you here. Like, that's what makes me get up and come to work every day is seeing the product of what we're able to to do through admissions, and continually over time seeing the school become more and more diverse. That's what keeps me here.
Thank you so much
Thank
to
you.
Lori Metcalf, and thank you for tuning in once again. We hope this brought you something new.